How's it going, everyone? I'm Wilson Canavilla,
I'm Robin Danju.
and we've decided after a while that we wanted to do a podcast. And it took a while for us to come up with a name, but we came up with Sprites, Bytes, and Pixels.
Yes, and welcome to our very first episode. In today's podcast, what we're going to be talking about mostly is our personal stories. It's introducing ourselves as, I guess, the narrators or the hosts of this podcast, and just getting you guys a bit of a background in terms of who we are.
Because honestly, despite the fact that, yes, I'm sure many of you know who we are from, like, our, I don't want to say reputation, but just from, like, how common we like to participate in video game related things, and just certain situations like that, there's still many of you who don't know who we are, and we want you to get to know us.
Exactly. So, just to give a bit of a background about myself in terms of who I am today. So, we'll start with who we are today, and then we can take it a step back and talk about what got us into gaming, what got us into collecting. So, in terms of who I am today, so I'm Robin. I work in marketing by day, and I just love video games by night, day, afternoon, whatever you name it. So, I run a video game trade show. It's called GameX. We have our next show coming up, June 28th. Perfect plug over there.
I don't have a show.
He just attends all shows.
Yeah.
You took a break last year.
I did. I did actually take a break from the swaps. I wanted to just kind of... swaps can be a lot for someone because we have a lot of them in Ontario, that's where we're both from. Just because we have a lot of them in our province doesn't mean that they're close. There's some that are like, 5-6 hours away.
9.
Yeah,
Sault
Sault Marie is... Hey, what's up, Turcotte? It can be a lot. So I decided I'd cut back on doing some swaps. But, we're in a new year, and I'm going to make a little bit more of an attempt to, see them all. See some. I'm not going to see them all. Don't get crazy, because that's not going to happen. But... yeah,
I will see every single swap this year. So I made it.
You a liar! Yeah. You're not going to see every single swap.
Okay, I'll see like 80% of the swaps.
I don't believe you.
So far, what I have on my agenda is I have Guelph tomorrow.
We're both going to Guelph.
Yes, we have Oshawa, Barrie, Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury. I feel like I'm missing some. My own GameX.
There's more than that, Robin. There's more than that.
Well, we just like gaming. So what we do is we're also admins of one of the best Facebook collecting groups there is in Canada. It's called CDN. If you guys aren't already on it, please go and check it out.
Canadian Vintage Video Games, but for some reason we're more known as CDN. I guess CVVG doesn't really run off the tongue as good as roll off the tongue as much as CDN does.
Yes, actually. So one cool thing I like about being a part of that group is sometimes when I go to swaps. So when I go to swaps, I'm usually a vendor or an organizer. And when I'm doing that, I usually have people coming up to me like, "Hey, are you Robin? Are you the guy that does all the crazy stuff?"
That happens to me too.
Yeah.
Like it's like a surreal feeling. You're like a pseudo celebrity in a way. Like people will just come up to you and they're like, "Hey, you're Wilson, aren't you?" And I'm like, "What? Yeah. How do you know? Oh, I've seen your post." And it's a good feeling. I totally get where you're coming from, Robin.
Yeah, it's mostly I think we're just really heavily involved. I know we have a lot of members. I think we're pushing almost 4,400 now.
Yes.
But one thing is, there's a lot of people that like to lurk. And there's a lot of people that like to post.
Just
we post
observers, yes.
Yeah, we post a lot.
I did a post earlier today. I try to do posts that kind of require interaction with our members to try and get them, out of their shells. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, no, I think I just like to sell a lot of stuff, and I also like to comment about video games that I'm playing. We'll touch on this a little bit later today, but I just finished playing Spider-Man for the PS4, and it is one of the greatest games ever made. Yeah.
The greatest game ever made.
One of the greatest games ever
What
made.
is the greatest game?
Oh my god, no, we can't, no.
Yeah.
It's too early for
PS4,
that.
just PS4. What is the greatest game for PS4 right now?
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Really?
I'm gonna stick to it. Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I haven't played as much as I have recently, and I haven't played a game that's made me so captivated and so engaged in a storyline as Spider-Man has.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
before you jump on that, I actually really didn't get to introduce myself. we went on,
Oh, yeah.
we went on a tangent about other things. We were about to talk about Rob and Spider-Man, and let's talk about me for a quick second.
Yes, tell us about yourself, Wilson.
As self-centered
Yes,
as I am.
tell me.
Hi, I'm Wilson, Wilson Canavilo, and I'm not a seller. I'm not a vendor. I don't own a store or anything like that. I'm just a big gamer. I've been gaming a majority of my life. Certain situations happened that stopped me from collecting for a while, but I got heavy back into it. We'll say 7, 8 years ago. And I've amassed quite the collection. And through these Facebook groups that I've participated in and these swaps that I've gone to, I've met a lot of good people. And I just like talking to people. I love talking to people about games. I like talking to. I've made some of my best friends have been through gaming, and it's a really good feeling. And that's really it. There's really not that much to say about me except what Robin's already said. We're admins for one of the one of the best video game Facebook groups in Canada.
And I think one good thing that we have going is I am a seller. It's kind of how I got myself through college, and it's something that's always stuck with me. I really like the thrill of the hunt. I like finding really good deals and then passing those deals or portions of those deals off to people that are hardcore collectors. I think that's a big thing for me. You yourself are a hardcore collector. You don't really have duplicates of games.
No, and if I do, it's like very far and few in between. And they're kind of what we would call doubles for like not for reselling but for trading purposes. But even still, it's very far and few.
Sweet. So you guys have a sense of who we are today. So why don't we step it back a bit and talk about what got us into gaming, what got us into collecting. Why don't we start with you?
Me?
Yeah.
But we were going to talk about Spider-Man. Are we not talking about Spider-Man now?
It's our first podcast. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, Spider-Man.
Hi, I'm Wilson, and I've been... No, I was kidding.
Wait, what are we talking about? We're talking about Spider-Man?
You know what? You wanted to talk about Spider-Man. I'm going to let you talk about Spider-Man.
So I've been itching.
He's been
itching.
When we were coming up with podcast ideas, he was like, we got to add in the fact that I just beat Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about it because I really want to get it off my chest. I'm like,
yes.
Fine.
Yes.
We'll talk about Spider-Man.
Okay, so let's talk about Spider-Man.
You owe me $20 though for the talking about Spider-Man.
Oh, damn it. All right. Damn. Okay, fine. So, Spider-Man overall. So I'm somebody that likes playing games, but I do tend to get bored easily if the storyline is not engaging, if it's really slow, the pacing is not good. But for me personally, the things that I really like about Spider-Man.
Before you continue.
Yeah. No spoilers?
No. Oh. Well, yeah, no spoilers because I haven't played the damn game yet. I'm going to be playing it eventually, but I haven't played it. So, calm your titties. Just, focus on the game.
Yes.
But no, what I was going to say was, who developed them, right?
Insomniac?
Insomniac.
Yeah, Insomniac. Yeah.
Did you play any of their other games? Like, have you played the Xbox? Oh my God, why am I not Sunset Overdrive for Xbox One?
I've never been an Xbox person, so
That's fair. It is if you have an Xbox One, I know it gets a lot of flack. If you have an Xbox One, I implore you to try Sunset Overdrive because it is a phenomenal game. It's a lot of fun and it's a good open world game. But no, I was referring more to the Ratchet. I want to say Ratchet and Clank.
I'm not even sure. I'm not too. I don't. So the thing with me is I don't follow developers too much. What I tend to follow is games.
Okay.
So right now, I know we're going off on a tangent again, but we have Final Fantasy VII Remake coming out, and I've already told my boss I'm going to be taking a week off work. I'm going to be picking it up as soon as it's out.
You're one of those?
I am one of those. My goal in that week is to pump in at least 70 hours, so 10 hours per day.
You are
in
a
that 1
trooper.
Week. Yes, so that we're over our tangent. Should we come back to Spider-Man?
Sure, you know what? Let's swing back to Spider-Man.
Nice segue. So, for me, Spider-Man, the things that I really liked is when I'm playing a video game, the ones that really stand out to me are the ones that are very story-driven. Last of Us was incredible.
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah, amazing game. Part 2 is coming out. Uncharted, I love the Uncharted series.
Uncharted's amazing.
So, for me, I like games that have good voice acting. I know it's kind of, a little bit odd. But for me, I can't be engaged in a storyline if the voice actor is monotone or if the voice actor doesn't really convey a lot of energy or
It's
emotion.
the worst.
Yeah.
When you have you have this amazing story, and the people they've decided to have for these voice actors can't really give that same emotion that this impactful story is trying to convey for you. I get it.
It's the same reason I watch my anime as subbed instead of dubbed, because I feel as though there's a bit of a loss of emotion in the transition or translation.
What the hell's my enemy?
No, it's anime.
Oh, anime. I thought you said my enemy. I'm like...
No, I just go around looking at enemies and I'm like, dude, how good is your
No,
voice? If it's
it's
not
funny-
good, we're not enemies.
It's funny, and when I thought you said my enemy, I'm thinking, what anime is that? I've never heard of that anime before. So I didn't even click into
Yeah.
anime. What's your favorite anime, by the way?
So I would say Naruto Shippuden.
My wife loves Naruto.
Yeah, I've probably seen it like 3 times.
All of it?
All of it. Yeah.
There's
I love
like
it.
300, 400 episodes.
Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
I think it's one of the best animes I've ever seen. I like Attack on Titan.
Attack on
I
Titan's
like
dope.
One Punch Man. So those are probably my top 3.
Those are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do an anime on Spider-Man.
Maybe they will.
That would be amazing.
They do an anime on everything. It's like there's like Prince of Tennis. You don't. There's too much stuff. We could make that a podcast.
Oh, we could totally make that a podcast. But you're saying that the voice acting is really good in Spider-Man.
Yes. So the things that I like about games: storyline, gameplay, replayability, voice acting, challenging. So for me, I played Spider-Man on one level above normal. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, you do that? You actually like playing on a harder difficulty?
Yeah.
I can't. You know what? I stick with the normal.
I don't like easy games.
I don't like easy games either.
Yeah.
But I want to experience the game, and usually normal mode is the mode that the developers focused on the most. Harder is for the harder people. For some developers even won't be able to bypass that or progress through that difficulty. So I always want to focus on the difficulty that developers made you worth the difficulty that developers had in their minds as they were creating this experience for you to go through. But so what makes you do the harder difficulty?
I think it comes down to I used to play Fire Emblem. That's one of my favorite games too. I love turn-based.
Say no more.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I used to play on the toughest difficulty. And not only that, if I ever lost a character in a match, I would restart that match so I get my characters back. I want to finish the game with every single character that you can get, and never have lost any of them.
Because in Fire Emblem, on the easier difficulties, there is no permadeath. People think that permadeath is better, is a better experience overall.
Yeah, 100%. I think it teaches you to not just be completely gung ho, and I like having a challenge. I don't like things being easy.
Today I also learned that Robin's into tactics games.
Yeah, I love tactics games.
Impressive.
Fire Emblem is great. I beat Three Houses twice, so I beat it as the Blue House, and I haven't beaten it twice. I'm playing again as the Golden Deer. So I'm aiming to beat all 3 Fire Emblem houses on 3 houses on hard difficulty without losing any single character.
That's way to have you. How many times have you not thrown, because those things are expensive. Joy-Cons are expensive. How many times have you sworn at the top of your lungs?
So for me, I play my Switch when I'm taking the train downtown. That's where I work. And I usually sit in the quiet zone in the GO train so you can't talk. So the worst I get is I'm really pushing my buttons down hard because the game is pushing my buttons.
Absolutely.
Fuck the Switch. I'm joking. I love this.
No, Switch is dope. You're great. Get out. I'll finish this on my own. Okay, so Spider-Man.
Yeah. So Spider-Man, I think I've said as much as I wanted to speak about Spider-Man.
Really? That wasn't a lot.
I know it isn't, but I think we wanted to talk about ourselves a lot, and we can save Spider-Man for another podcast when we speak about some of our favorite games. Because in the short time that I've played it, which is, I think I beat it in 2 weeks, I've grown to really love it, and I'm actually thinking about playing it again.
So 2 weeks is one thing. How many hours, though, would you say you actually put into it?
I would say I played after work, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. So I'd say I'm under 40 hours.
Did you platinum it?
No.
Do you platinum games?
No.
Really?
No, I don't.
I've heard that Spider-Man is an easy platinum.
So I don't play a lot of PS4 as it is. I gave my old one to my nephew, and I just picked up a new PS4 in December, and I got it because it was a Spider-Man edition, so it's red, and it came with the game.
I have seen that, and it's a really nice looking console. It's so simple, but it's so like elegant in the same way. Just like with the design and the color, like it's very vibrant. I love it.
Amazing. So now that we've spoken about our games and we've talked and touched on who we are as gamers today, why don't we take it a step back now and let's talk about what got us into gaming? And why don't you start by telling me about what got you into gaming?
What got me into gaming?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a broad question, Robin.
It is.
What got me into gaming? Oh, man. I can't answer that. Like, it just... You might as well ask me why the sky's blue.
Why is the sky blue?
I think it has something to do with light. The sun reflecting off the atmosphere or something like that. I don't know. I haven't watched Phil 9 forever. Yeah.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
if you know why the sky is blue, please message us at Sprites, Bytes, and Pixels.com, which we haven't created yet, but you can still try because maybe you'll get someone and
try
they'll
your
respond.
best.
Try your best.
So, okay, if you can't speak to what got you into gaming, why don't you speak to why you're passionate about video? Or, no, because we're talking about the past, man. We're talking about the past. Oh, how do I rephrase this question?
What
got you into gaming? No. Why was gaming important to you?
Why was it important to me?
Yes.
Okay. Why was gaming important to me? Okay, so the reason I like it's like I'm doing an essay. The reason I like gaming.
Don't forget your commas.
Yeah. I've always had too much commas. I'm bad. I'm a comma-er. The reason, okay, so I got into gaming just because it became like a not a distraction, but just like an escape, if you will. It's a fun experience. I can't. You know what? I don't know. I can't answer this
well, how
question.
about I answer it? Let me start, and then maybe you can get something out of it.
And I'll talk about Spider-Man.
Sure. So I came to Canada in 1995 when I was 5 years old, and had absolutely no idea how to speak English. A, B, had no idea what pop culture in Canada or North America was like. I come from India. And coming here, I couldn't speak the language, couldn't really do anything. Learned English through watching TV.
What'd you watch?
I don't even remember, man. Probably like Carmen. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
That
like, rings a bell. The cartoon.
The cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that cartoon.
I used to watch that. Franklin, Rupert.
Franklin.
Yeah, all the good shows.
Franklin.
But for me, once I started going to school and I started picking up on what the language is like, I think what gaming did is it gave me an opportunity to feel like a Canadian kid. It gave me the opportunity to do things that other kids in Canada were doing, because as a first generation immigrant, it's tough to acclimate yourself to a brand new area at such a young age. Some say it's easier, and you know what, to a degree it might have been easier for me because I grew up with the culture here, but I think gaming kind of helped ease my transition into really becoming Canadian, if that makes sense. I played a lot of games. The Sega Genesis was the first console I ever got.
Wait, the Sega Genesis?
Yeah, first console. I got Sonic the Hedgehog with it, and
the first one.
I don't remember. All I remember is I don't think we bought it used, and I don't think the cartridge had a save function. So every time I turned the game off, I would lose everything, and then I had to restart it.
Okay, so if you don't remember which one, did this one have Tails in it? Because Tails wasn't introduced until number 2.
I think so. So it must have been number 2.
Number 2 was a huge seller for the Genesis. It was like a I can't think of the word.
A greatest hit?
No, well, yeah, something that's like a greatest hit. Anyways, it was huge. It was a huge seller for the Genesis, and everybody played it. The first one, not as much. How far did you get in it? Did you ever beat it?
No, because I couldn't save, and then I finally.
But you can't save in Sonic 2.
Well, you can't?
No.
Then maybe my cartridge wasn't Bad. Okay, well, I don't remember how far I got. I just remember I played that game a lot.
Sonic 3 was saving.
Yeah, and then I switched from the Sega Genesis to the PS1, which got me really into RPG games. And Final Fantasy VII is still one of my favorite games of all time. Hence, I'm taking a week off work to play it when the remake comes out.
Is it better than Spider-Man?
Oh fuck, man! There's such different genres. So I don't like easy games, and Final Fantasy VII is definitely not an easy game.
Well,
It's not.
It has some hard side quests, like
No, but the game itself, if you do not grind and you do not level your characters up, if you don't go out and get all the good materia, you're not going to beat Sephiroth.
But that's more like exploration. It's more like an exploration aspect. I wouldn't say it's like, for me, when I played Final Fantasy VII for my first time. Okay, sorry, we were just checking something. When I played Final Fantasy VII for my first time, I don't think I did a lot of grinding until right at the end. It was right at the end when I had like some crazy side quests to do and hard, difficult things, and I was at Sephiroth and blah, 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 blah. That's when I started doing more grinding and stuff. But for the most part, it was like a simple process, like going through all the storylines. So I wouldn't say it was a hard game, but like Emerald Weapon, I never beat.
Oh yeah.
Ruby Weapon, I never beat.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got Knights of the Round.
I didn't do a lot of the side quests.
Did you get the Golden Chocobo?
I don't remember. I was so young. I was probably like 9.
How many times have you played Final Fantasy VII since?
No, never.
Wait, so you've only played it one time?
One time, and that's it. And now I don't even watch the trailers for the new Final Fantasy VII because I don't want it to ruin this re-experience.
You know what? That's just something about trailers. I don't really watch much movie trailers. I don't really watch much game trailers because I just don't want them to ruin the experience for me.
100%. Cannot agree with you more.
Yeah.
So I guess I've said why gaming is important to me. I've said what.
Yeah, but you also have like this. You lived in India and you didn't speak English. For me, it's just like I like games.
Well, I like games too. Like I used to play a lot of games just because they were fun. They
I like the Marios. Mario. Like that's my answer. I don't really have an answer. Like, except for what I said earlier. Like, there's a great community out there of gamers who just like to have fun, and that's the thing about gamers. Like, they seem to like having fun. I'm not bashing any other groups. I know sports fans like to have fun, and I don't know, anime people like to have fun, and hentai people like to have fun.
They definitely love to have their fun.
They definitely do, tentacles and all.
No, 100%.
But there's just something about hanging out with gamers and being on the same spectrum of like conversation that I just really enjoy. And as I've progressed as an adult, I just love some of the conversations that come into fruition from like something so small as, say, Mario, for instance. Like some of the things that have popped up, like I don't know, do you remember Bowsette?
Yeah, that's so fucked up. What the hell's wrong with people?
I don't know, man. Like some of those pictures, like but hey,
to each their own.
Exactly.
Each their own. So yeah, it's good to get a perspective of why gaming is important to us. I think even today's day and age, you see, I do the trade shows. I have a small flea market booth. So I see a lot of people that are coming in, and I see a lot of parents that are bringing their kids to play gaming as well. And one thing that I like is that a lot of children are now being introduced to gaming at a very young age, and they're being introduced to it through their parents. Whereas when we were younger, it was like we just wanted it.
Yeah.
So we were the ones that were pushing for it.
Yes.
But nowadays, I see that it's the parents that are like, hey, I played this when I was a kid. I want my child to play this too. I had somebody that came in and they bought a Nintendo with Mario Duck Hunt and like an extra controller for their 3-year-old. So this 3-year-old is coming into a gaming house as it is, and they're hopefully going to have some very strong bonding experiences as a result of it, as a result of gaming.
I hope that kid plays GTA.
I hope not until he's 18.
In the next week.
I don't. Well, on that note, this has been a very informative podcast. We spoke about what really makes us who we are, and gave a bit of an introduction of ourselves. We went on a few tangents, and we hope to go on more tangents in future episodes.
That's the plan.
Awesome. See you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we need like a finishing line.
Let's put all like Sprites, Bytes, and Pixels. Let's put the S, the B, and the P together. We can go spop spop.
Okay. All right. There we go. That was good, man.